Welcome to Real Life English Podcasts.
Thank you so much for having me. I am really excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, it is great to have you. So, to start us off, I want you, the listener, to just think about your life right now.
Right. Just take a second to really look at your schedule,
Exactly. Look at your daily routines and maybe your stress levels too.
which I know can be a little scary to think about.
Yeah, it really can be. But I want to ask you a question. Do you actually believe in work-life balance?
Oh, that is such a huge question.
It is, right. Or is it just like a concept? Is it just an imaginary idea that looks great on a poster in an office, but never actually happens in real life?
Well, I mean, that is exactly the right question to ask
Yeah,
today.
it feels like we talk about it all the time.
We really do. But if you ask most people walking down the street today, they will probably tell you that it feels completely impossible.
Yeah, impossible. Like a beautiful concept, but a concept is just an idea.
Exactly. It is not reality.
Mm.
In real life, for almost everyone, work and personal life rarely feel perfectly balanced.
Right. Usually one side is completely dominating the other side.
Yeah, and we are all just trying to survive that pressure
I mean, I see this everywhere. You read articles about work-life balance in magazines.
all the time.
And human resources departments at jobs, they send out emails about it.
Those
Right.
managers give long speeches about it.
Yeah, it is a phrase that completely surrounds us. But when I talk to my friends, or even when I look at my own life, it is incredibly rare to meet someone who actually has it.
Right, to meet someone who looks you in the eye and says, yes, my career and my personal life are in perfect harmony.
Nobody seems to actually achieve it.
No, they really don't.
Mhm.
Which means we have a massive gap.
A gap between what society tells us we should have and what we actually experience.
Exactly, and exploring that gap is really our mission for our conversation today.
We are going to carefully break down the source material to finally understand this.
Yeah, we need to figure out if work-life balance is a real thing we can actually achieve or just a dream we are chasing.
Right, like a frustrating dream that we just run after every single day.
Because we need to break down exactly why finding peace in our daily routine feels so hard.
We are going to look at the invisible pressures we all face.
And most importantly, what we can actually do about it.
So I think the best place to start is by looking at the picture that pops into our heads when we hear the word balance.
Because before we can achieve it, we need to understand what that word actually means to most people.
Right. For most of us, the image in our mind is a physical scale.
Like a tool that measures weight.
Exactly, a scale. We picture work sitting very heavily on the left side of the scale.
And then our personal life, our family, our hobbies, our rest, that is sitting on the right side.
And we have always been told that a successful life means keeping that scale perfectly equal.
Yes, exactly. The myth of the 50-50 split.
The 50-50 split, let's talk about that because that feels important.
It is so important. This is where so much of our daily frustration begins.
Because most people imagine that true balance means 50% of your energy goes to your job.
Right. And then exactly 50% of your energy goes to your home life.
A perfect 50-50 split, work on one side, life on the other.
We want the two sides to weigh exactly the same amount.
Yeah, but real life simply does not work like that.
No, it never has and it never will.
I mean, just think about a normal month in your own life.
Right. Think about a really busy week.
Some days, a massive project drops onto your desk at work.
Your boss needs a report finished by Friday.
And on those days, work takes over everything, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You are staying late at the office?
You are thinking about the project while you eat dinner.
Yeah, your job feels like it's taking up 90% of your mental space.
The scale is just completely smashed down on the side of work.
And that feels terrible. If your goal is a perfect 50-50 split.
Right, you feel like you are failing.
Uh-huh.
But then look at the other side.
Imagine a Saturday or a long holiday weekend.
Or even just a very quiet, rainy Tuesday when the office is slow.
On those days, you might barely think about your job at all.
Exactly. Your family, your friends, or just a really good book might take up 90% of your day.
The weight shifts completely.
The scale is constantly tipping back and forth, up and down, day after day.
So expecting a perfect 50-50 split every single day just sets people up for disappointment.
It really does. It is like if a scale is perfectly 50-50, it never moves.
Right. It stays completely still.
But life is always moving and changing. So is expecting a 50-50 split actually fighting against real life?
Yes, completely. And that is why we need to understand the difference between equality and sustainability.
Let's slowly break down those two words for the listeners. Equality and sustainability.
Well, equality means two things are exactly the same size.
Like cutting an apple perfectly in half.
Exactly. And if you demand equality from your days, you will always feel like you are failing.
Because life isn't an apple you can cut perfectly.
Right. So instead of equality, we should be looking for sustainability.
Sustainability. That means being able to keep going, right?
Yes, having the ability to keep going week after week, month after month, without breaking down.
It is about the long game.
Think about the difference between running a sprint and running a marathon.
Oh, I love this analogy. A sprint is a very fast, very short race.
Right. If you sprint, you are running as fast as your legs can move. You use all your energy at once.
And you might look impressive for about 20 seconds.
But then you collapse. You cannot keep sprinting. It is not sustainable.
Right, it's not sustainable. But a marathon is a very long, slow race.
Yes, if you jog at a slow, steady pace, you can keep moving forward for miles.
A sustainable life is like that steady jog.
You accept that Tuesday might be a heavy work day, but you know you have a quiet weekend coming up to recover.
So balance is not about a single perfect day. It is
Mm.
about the whole week or the whole month.
Exactly. But if a 50-50 split isn't natural, why do we feel so much pressure to achieve it?
That is a great question. Why does balance feel so hard right now?
Well, a big reason is that the physical boundaries of work have completely disappeared.
Yes. The technology trap. I struggle with this every single day.
We all do.
Mm.
Work-life balance feels difficult today because work has expanded.
It has grown larger.
Yes. In the past, maybe 30 years ago, work had a strict physical boundary.
Right. Work was a place you physically went to.
You drove to a building, you sat at a desk, and you did your job.
And when the clock hit 5 o'clock, you stood up and walked out the door.
The work stayed inside the building. You could not physically do your job from your living room sofa.
Your brain knew the work was done because you left the building.
But today, because of phones and laptops, work doesn't really end anymore.
The boundaries are gone. The office is no longer a building.
No, the office is just a tiny piece of metal and glass that we carry in our pockets.
We carry the office everywhere we go.
And that creates a massive problem.
Yeah.
We can always check emails, messages, and updates.
So even when you are not physically working, you are kind of still working.
Exactly.
Mm.
Mentally, you are never fully off.
Let's really talk about that phrase. Mentally, never fully off.
It means your brain is always tied to work, just a little bit.
Think about sitting at home at 8 o'clock at night. You are watching a movie with your family,
Physically, your body is resting.
but your phone is sitting right there on the table. You know an email from your boss could arrive at any second.
So your nervous system is always just slightly tense.
Always waiting for a message. It is incredibly ironic, isn't it?
Very ironic.
Phones were supposed to make our lives easier. They were supposed to give us more free time.
Right, we thought they would help us work faster.
But instead, they turned into tiny offices we carry everywhere. How can we be off work if the office is always in our pocket?
We really can't. The technology gave us the ability to work all the time.
But technology is just a tool. It is our culture that gives us the pressure to use it all the time.
Yes, and that brings us to the culture of busy.
The culture of busy. Let's unpack this for the listener.
There is a massive cultural pressure to be productive all the time.
Productive means you are always doing something useful, always working.
Right. And in our modern world, being busy has almost become a status symbol.
A status symbol, that is an important term. A status symbol is usually a sign of success, right?
Like driving a very expensive sports car or wearing a very expensive watch.
It tells people, look at me, I am important.
Exactly. And now, being exhausted and busy is the new status symbol.
Oh, wow. So if I tell you I am completely stressed and busy at work, I am secretly telling you I am important.
Yes. We wear our stress like a medal.
It shows we are needed. But what happens if you are not busy?
Well, if you're not busy, you feel like you are falling behind.
Falling behind, meaning everyone else is moving forward and you are failing.
Right. You feel like you are not doing enough.
And this leads to something really sad. It leads to feeling guilty even during your free time.
Oh, the guilt of resting is so real.
You sit down on the couch on Sunday to watch a movie. You are resting.
But your brain says you should be doing something productive right now.
You feel guilty because you feel you should be cleaning or checking emails.
Doing nothing is incorrectly viewed as a bad thing.
It's like we are punishing ourselves for resting.
We really are.
Why do we feel guilty for having free time when free time was supposed to be the reward for our hard work?
Because the pressure is just too high. And because balance feels impossible, maybe we're chasing the wrong goal entirely.
Okay, this is where things get really interesting.
Right. What if the goal shouldn't be work-life balance, but work-life integration?
Integration. That is a very different word from balance. Let's contrast those two words.
Well, separating means putting a wall between two things. Work is over here, life is over there.
They never touch.
Right. But blending or integrating means mixing them together.
So instead of strictly separating work and life, we could try blending the two together throughout the day.
Exactly. You wake up, maybe answer some emails, then take a walk, then work a little, then go to the store.
The goal of integration is to create a life where work doesn't feel completely draining.
And when we say draining, we mean exhausting,
Yeah.
sucking all your energy out.
If work blends into your life naturally, hopefully it doesn't drain you as much.
That is the hope. It sounds ideal, doesn't it?
It sounds perfect, but I have to ask, is it actually realistic for everyone?
Well, no. It can actually be quite risky.
I thought so. Think about an analogy here. Instead of putting work and life in two different boxes, integration is like making a smoothie.
Yes, a smoothie. You put the fruit and the juice in a blender and mix it all together.
You put your hobbies, your family time, and your work all in the blender.
But what if your job is deeply stressful?
Right. If the work part of the smoothie is sour or rotten, won't it just ruin the whole drink?
It absolutely will. If you blend a toxic, stressful job into your Sunday morning, you just ruin your Sunday morning.
You don't make the work better, you just make your personal life worse.
Exactly. Blending work and life might sound perfect, but it could accidentally lead to working more if you are not careful.
Because the work just fills up all the empty space in your life.
Right. Integration isn't realistic for everyone because everyone's situation is completely unique.
And that leads us to personal definitions of balance.
Balance looks very different for everyone. There is no single definition.
None at all.
For some people, working long hours is perfectly fine.
Really? Even like 12 hours a day?
Yes, if they genuinely enjoy what they do, like an artist or someone building a new business.
Oh, I see. Because they love it, the work gives them energy.
Right. So for them, working long hours is their personal version of perfect balance.
But for other people, even a completely normal workload can feel overwhelming.
And overwhelming is a strong word. It means it is just too much to handle.
It's like a massive wave crashing over your head.
Exactly. We shouldn't judge other people's versions of balance.
If someone works 12 hours a day but loves it and feels happy, are they unbalanced?
No, that is just their version of perfect balance.
And if someone needs lots of quiet time just to survive a normal job, that is okay too.
Absolutely. Balance is deeply personal. Your personal limit is the only one that matters.
Okay, so since balance is so personal, how do we protect our own specific version of it?
This is where we have to take action. And setting boundaries is a huge help.
Boundaries. Let's explain that word for the listener.
A boundary is a limit you set. It is a rule to protect your time.
Like setting a rule that you will not check work emails after 6 o'clock.
Exactly. But setting the limit is the easy part. Respecting your own limits is the hardest part.
Oh, I know. Setting a boundary is like drawing a line in the sand, right?
Right. A line in the sand on a beach.
But then checking your email on the weekend is like the ocean washing that line away.
Yes, you let the ocean wash your own rule away.
So how do we stop ourselves from crossing our own boundaries?
We have to be intentional with our time.
Intentional. That means doing things on purpose, right?
Yes, making a conscious choice. Making space for things that matter outside of work on purpose.
You can't just hope you will have free time. You have to plan it.
Exactly. And small things make a big difference.
Like what?
Like taking real breaks during the day, spending time with people, or just purposely doing nothing and resting.
Small, simple actions you can take today.
Because it is crucial that we draw these lines in the sand.
Why is it so crucial?
Because the cost of failing to do so is severe.
We are talking about the risk of burnout.
Without any balance, burnout becomes a very real problem.
Let's clearly define burnout for the English learners listening.
Burnout is a state of total physical and emotional exhaustion.
It is not just being tired.
No. Being tired means you can sleep and feel better. Burnout means your motivation is completely gone.
You feel totally empty.
And burnout does not just affect your work performance.
No, it causes a ripple effect, right?
Yes. Think of dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples move outward.
How does that ripple effect work with burnout?
Well, a bad day at work turns into a bad mood at home.
And that bad mood affects your relationships with other people.
Yes, you snap at your family, You stop seeing your friends.
And it affects your physical health, too. Burnout is like driving a car with no gas.
That is a perfect comparison.
Eventually, the engine just completely stops.
Right.
If we don't pause to get gas, we won't reach our destination anyway, right?
Exactly. The car will break down, and so will you.
Therefore, even if balance isn't perfect, trying to achieve it is still extremely important.
It is necessary for survival.
So as we come to the end of our discussion today, let's summarize the main takeaways.
We started by asking, is work-life balance real or just a dream?
And what did we decide?
Well, perfect balance. That 50-50 split might be a myth,
It is just a dream.
but some level of balance is definitely possible.
It changes over time, and it doesn't look perfect.
Right. The true goal isn't strict balance. The true goal is finding a rhythm that works specifically for you.
A rhythm, I love that word, like music.
Exactly. Sometimes life is loud and busy, and sometimes it is quiet and slow.
You just need to find the rhythm that matches your life.
And I want to leave the listener with a final thought to ponder.
Yes. What should they think about?
Since your rhythm changes over time, think about what your life needs today.
Oh, that is good.
Because the balance you needed 5 years ago might be completely different from the rhythm you need right now.
If you were single 5 years ago, your rhythm was different than it is today if you have young children.
Exactly. Give yourself permission to change your boundaries as your life changes.
So we want to ask you, the listener, directly.
Do you feel like you have work-life balance?
Or does it feel impossible to achieve?
What does balance actually look like in your life?
We would love to hear from you. Invite us into your world and let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yes, please share your experiences with us.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing your English, keep protecting your time, and we'll see you next time.